What is up, all you beautiful people? Uh, it's your boy, Emo Genexus. Yes, yes, yes. So, today what we're going to be doing is that I'm going to be covering and breaking down the Avengers 2018 comic run. Now, this is not clickbait. This is a story about how Moon Knight got the power of the Phoenix, which, for people who don't know, the Phoenix is this intergalactic force that can possess someone, and they're able to do their own will through that person. Um, which the most famous person who had that happen to them is Jean Grey from the X-Men. So yeah, so let's hop right on into it. So, so the the comic starts off when Iron Fist is meditating, but Moon Knight shows up and he attracts Iron Fist and he attacks him. But when he gains an upper hand, Moon Knight uses a necklace, which is called the Sarbal, the Sarbal Unk, or the Sarbe Unk, and sucks up all his powers, by which leaves Iron Fist powerless. So a little bit after that, uh, it cuts to Doctor Strange fighting a bunch of these undead mummies, by which Moon Knight also shows up, and he confronts him, and Doctor Strange also recognizes the Sarple punks, and so they fight, and he too gets his powers sucked out of him due to the necklace, by which I believe that there's only four trinkets that he has, which means that he's only able to have four powers, from which I remember. I'm not really sure. So, so Ronnie wakes up, which Ronnie is the Ghost Rider of this universe, by which, instead of him having a hell-powered motorcycle, he has a hell-powered Dodge Charger, which in my opinion is super duper cool. So Ronnie wakes up and sees Moon Knight has stolen the Hell Charger, and he also finds out because of that he doesn't have any powers. There's a lot of time skipping in this, so a lot of these are he's in one place, he's in another, just to kind of make sure that you guys know that. So the comic cuts to Wakanda, where Black Panther or where Moon Knight confronts Black Panther in pursuit of his power. Uh, but due to him being able to convince him, Moon Knight decides just to run away. Now, a little bit later, Thor is up at the moon. I believe it's training, and then Moon Knight confronts Thor. Now, whenever they start fighting, it's found out that Mjolnir is made out of moon rock, by which, due to Moon Knight having all of the powers of the moon and anything that the moon, like any material that the moon makes, he's able to control as well, such as Mjolnir. And once Moon Knight does gain that upper hand, he's able to encase Thor and trap him inside Moonrock. Now, the comic then flashes back weeks ago. And so when Moon Knight approaches Khonshu, which Khonshu is the god who gives him his powers, he sees that for the first time, there's terror in Khonshu's eyes. And so he begins to question him, and it's because Khonshu seen a vision of where Mephisto will, will rise up and come again. Now, whatever he sees, it's obviously really bad. Now, Mephisto is like the devil. He's the ruler of hell. So Mephisto has fought the Avengers before, and he's actually locked up in one of the highest skyscrapers in Las Vegas, which is, you know, uh, which is also nicknamed Sin City, which kind of makes it very fitting. So when Moon Knight goes, and when Moon Knight uh, goes to Las Vegas, he uses a Doctor Strange's powers to free him. And then, uh, but, um, but then, when he starts attacking Mephisto, um, Mephisto goes and he like donates Mjolnir. He puts his fist through it, which then makes it very incompatible. But Khonshu, for some reason, shows up, and so whenever he shows up, he betrays Moon Knight. But Moon Knight then goes on to understand why. So a little bit after that, it cuts to Khonshu and Moon Knight building their pyramid, which is a shrine to where all of the followers of Khonshu go to worship him. And during this time, the Avengers have become fugitives, such as Iron Man, Blade, She-Hulk, and Captain America. Uh, but due to this, all of them, aside from Iron Man, ambush a train, which is filled with their followers, and find Robbie, Iron Fist, and Doctor Strange. And so, whenever they find them, they obviously help them. And then it comes back to the pyramid, where Khonshu kills another Mephisto. So, it's kind of explained that due to Moon Knight having Doctor Strange's powers, he's able to control the multiverse. See, whatever Khonshu seen, he doesn't want that to happen in any other multiverse, right? So he captured a bunch of these other people, uh, or he captured a bunch of these other Mephistos to kill them as well, so that way none of them are able to come into this universe. There will be no Mephistos. So then, when Moon Knight then goes, and goes back to the moon. Uh, so he goes back to the moon because there is one more power, and it's called the Star Brand. But he meets a black cloaked being who was once Nick Fury, but is now just a silent watcher. See, the Seer, which is what he is called. This Seer also knows about the coming of Mephisto and what it will be like. So, it cuts back to Earth, where Khonshu and the whole entire nation, Wakanda, fight. And Khonshu throws Mjolnir, but it's redirected because it knows. So the hammer itself knows of the blood of the Black Panther, which the Black Panther is a generational entity. So Moon Knight goes and he comes back to Earth, and Moon Knight and Black Panther fight. And while that happens, Khonshu then flies up to space, where he meets Iron Man, and they fight in space. But then, Moon Knight then goes, and he's also up in space. And it just so happens that the Phoenix is right there, and the Phoenix possesses Moon Knight. See, Moon Knight then sees the problem with Khonshu, and, well, he fights Khonshu because of it. So then we fast forward a little bit later after it, Khonshu is defeated, and Moon Knight is apprehended. And, so back on Earth, Black Panther and Robbie fight Khonshu, and he's defeated. And he gets all of his extra powers taken away, which means that all of the people who had their powers stolen, such as Iron Fist, Robbie, and Doctor Strange, all have their powers back. And so because of that, Thor comes back from the moon and beats Moon Knight. And then the Avengers finally defeat Khonshu. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys like this video. This is the very first video that I've recorded since Christmas. So I'm a little rusty on it, but yeah, hope you guys like this video. I will talk to you all later.
Before, I know how you think. I'm the only man who can contain you.
Want to know the only problem?
What's that, Blark?